Why do you think New York City became the place for it to take off?
Well, I think basically when I started there were no other rock clubs here. And my policy here was that the only way you could play here is to play your own music, and nobody else was doing it. And then Max's reopened, and they started doing it. And then there was always another club opening and closing. And then since there became a scene, don't forget we have a population of 13, 14 million people in the greater New York area. So, you know, when word get out, and then people from New Jersey and Connecticut and Pennsylvania and Boston, everybody else heard, they converged. And I think it probably just started here because there was a need. There were a lot of bands, a lot of musicians who were, and I think the punk era was mostly a era of people who were not necessarily musicians. They were people who had something to say, and they learned to play their instruments to say them, so they could make their voices felt. And so the idea was the punk was a cruder or more basic form of music, so this is probably how it started. And it started here because a lot of things start here in London, you know. It's a place where things start.
Can you see any similarity between what Fishbone is doing right now and those early punk bands?
Well, I think they are, I mean, musicianship, they're much better. And the early bands were crude, and they didn't know how to play well. These people have the same energy, and they keep things simple. I think the similarity is the energy, the extreme energy. They have their own voice, they have their own expression. But then I think they go further without complicating things. And as I say, I think they are spare in their use of their, even though they use quite a few instruments, I think they're very careful so it's not cluttered. But I think it's the energy and the voice that they have something to say, you know.
Diamond Club. Well, if I try to remember it now, I ain't gonna remember shit, man, but later on I'll probably remember it. It's kind of hard to remember back that far, man. Between then and now, man, I ain't gonna remember it.
Resistance of Fishbone, like in the R&B and black radio circles.
There is no color to music. That's a problem a lot of people have nowadays. They have black radio, but they don't call it white radio, right? And we a while ago we couldn't get played on quote unquote black radio because we didn't play enough R&B like a lot of black people are used to hearing, or black radio is used to playing. You know, rock and roll is black and rock and roll is white.
The musicians are starting to acknowledge it. Now it's up to the people, because the musicians understand where we're coming from. That we are a black band. You know, that's just the reality of it. We choose to play whatever musical styles we want because we want to, and you know, we still have that black consciousness with us, and that's something that's going to always be. You know, but you know, the whole thing is, you know, just getting people to understand that you're not limited to a certain style, you know.
In Texas, these Nazi skinheads came to our show and they had the swastika scratched into their arm and everything. I said, you know, I wouldn't be in there on mine. I said, man, I didn't say, what are you doing here? Go away. I said, oh, so you're here to see Fishbone. And they said, yeah, man, yeah. I said, what you doing with that shirt on? What you doing with that swastika on your arm? And He said, well, I used to be a Nazi and everything. I said, man, don't give me no excuses. I know you're still into it. I just know you like Fishbone because of my music, right? Well, if you want to convert, you just come on in here, and it's okay because you can be free also. Because we have all got two eyes, two eyes, one nose, and a mouth.
3 noses. He's a Martian. He's a Martian. You found out here on Much Music that Angela is a Martian. Yeah! Are y'all ready to have a good time? Swim. Look like you're having a ball swimming, man. Yeah, man, the waves are pretty high.
This is a message from the Fishbone poet to the United States and Canada and the rest of the world if it gets to it. I feel like this is the beginning of a revolution solution. But we've been saying that ever since 1914, of course, a prophecy, an apocalypse, one red, one white, and one black horse. When the devil was booted from the Lord's blue crib, I pity you, you fool who made the deal with this living fib. Bust through the lighthouse and jump the TV puppets. The tube preacher is a stinker and this country is on its crutches. First prize freedom to the one who can reel off 666 rounds into the ass of the crook behind the top hidden desk. Burn his crotch as well as his nest. Crack his camera to destruction's best. I feel like this is the beginning of a shutdown. No more fascism for me, thanks. Bush. I want my freedom full rank. But keep your shields up because I ain't shooting blanks. No more fascism for me, thanks. I want my freedom full rank because they ain't shooting blanks. I'll come home on a Wednesday.